From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Tuesday, July the 1st, 2025. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will meet with U.S. President Donald Trump next week. Netanyahu told a government meeting this morning, "I am due to leave next week for meetings in the United States with President Trump, Vice President Vance, Secretary of State and National Security Advisor Marco Rubio, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, the President's envoy to the Middle East Steve Witkoff, and others." Netanyahu saying these come in the wake of the great victory that we achieved in Operation Rising Lion, saying taking advantage of the success is no less an important part of achieving the success. The meeting with Trump is reportedly set to take place next Monday, July the 7th. It is believed the issues to be discussed in that meeting will include Iran, Gaza, and efforts to reach an agreement to get the hostages home. Trump was asked by reporters this morning about efforts to reach a Gaza ceasefire agreement. He responded saying, "We hope it's going to happen, and we're looking for it to happen sometime next week. We want to get our hostages back." Rubio, by the way, held his first official meeting with hostage families this past Friday in Washington, telling them true victory in Gaza will only be realized when all the hostages return home. The 50 hostages who remain held captive by terror group Hamas in Gaza have now been held for 634 days. The IDF continues its operations in Gaza today, saying it destroyed 3 kilometers, just under 2 miles, of underground tunnel routes used for terror activity. Saying IDF soldiers have also eliminated dozens of terrorists and dismantled hundreds of terrorist infrastructure sites over the last 24 hours. The United States yesterday lifted sanctions on Syria in support, the U.S. Treasury said, of the Syrian people and their new government as they rebuild their country and have the opportunity to become a stable and prosperous nation at peace with itself and its neighbors. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent adding, "As we continue to monitor progress on the ground, we remain focused on preventing Assad, his cronies, terrorists, and other illicit actors from attempting to destabilize Syria and the region." The Treasury saying sanctions will remain on Assad and his associates, human rights abusers, and others, including Iran and its proxies. Turning now to Argentina, where a federal judge last week ordered 10 Iranian and Lebanese nationals suspected of involvement in the 1994 bombing of the AMIA, the Jewish Community Center in Buenos Aires, to be put on trial in Absentia. 85 people were killed and hundreds injured in the terror attack in Buenos Aires, which is believed to have been carried out by terror group Hezbollah with the backing of Iran. Up until this past March, Argentina's laws did not allow for suspects to be tried unless they were physically present. And the court ruling this past Thursday was the first of its kind in the country. The Anti-Defamation League, together with the Brandeis Center for Human Rights Under Law and a pro bono team at the law firm Meyer Brown, filed a brief yesterday with the U.S. Department of Education's Office for Civil Rights. The ADL said today, alleging that officials at the Concord Carlisle Regional School District in Massachusetts failed to protect Jewish students from pervasive anti-Semitic harassment, discrimination, and retaliation. ADL New England Regional Director Samantha Joseph said the anti-Semitic climate at Concord Carlisle did not emerge overnight. It was allowed to take root and persist. She said the district must adopt clear protocols to address anti-Semitism, provide guidance on reporting and response, and promote education and awareness to prevent the spread of hate. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Tuesday, July the 1st. At 7 o'clock, Eminent Jews author David Denby talks about Leonard Bernstein, Mel Brooks, Betty Friedan, and Norman Mailer In this conversation from the Stryker Center about identity, legacy, and the American Jewish experience. At 8, Justin Pine sits down with legal scholar Professor Michael Avi Helfand to explore how Jews contribute to and are shaped by the American legal system. At 9, Elie Abadie is on L'chaim. At 10, it's Good Week Israel, and then an encore of the news. And coming up next, it's the ILTV's Insider. And that's the JBS News Update for Tuesday, July the 1st, 2025. I'm Teisha Bader. Am Yisrael Chai.